border, la línea, la
La
migra.
migra.
Let's
Let's
say
say
the
the border is made of wires that hum, that it's an onda of micro or nano origin, with an enormous horizon mimicking its scope in the mind. Let's call it a contraction of focus on one aspect of life, a minuscule aspect of the eternal, la línea. Step forward into its contracted light, you won't get far.
And of course, we all Maurice have to run into coyotes one time or another. Crossing the fence line, an empty ceremony with coyotero number one guessing who is the quickest over the fence. To evolve, it is simplistic. To evolve, it is to believe it happens right here, with the intangible and spontaneous, the place where heaven sinks into the earth, down to the core of all that blood. Yeah. And then I'll finish with this one. Of course, Chuco is the home of las descidas, and one of the theories about that is was brought up by Alma Guillermo Prieto about 5 years ago in the New York Review of Books, and she said that the cult of Santa Muerte was developed by is something that the narcotraficantes have assumed as part of their rituals for making sure their business goes well, and that most desaparecidas were their victims, their ritual victims, of whom Santa Muerte is the symbol. This is Dia de Santa Muerte. Sonrisa skull doll, daubed with sangre chunks, lipsticked and presented in procession con banderas, to the polleros of midnight, huizache and barreras. Rooster, raven, coyote, conejo, tango y samba y salsa
for me tonight on the smoky altar of Santa Muerte. Living a Conchi Dedo doll in Walmart stretch pants, salsa, merengue, mambo, dulce, moza. Lead me to the arroyo al medianoche. Lure my panting dogs with tripas frescas y calientes tonight across the gran desierto de Santa Muerte. Living Cuervo doll in jet black feathers, reject all roadkill, jaguar, rancheria, agave, root blood from Babasic, Imuris, and Cucarachi, and Baso Chuca to cross the river and crawl under my peel tonight on the altar of Santa Muerte. Ever-dying serpent doll in diamond skin, riding calabaza serpent, his blood, thin like diesel fuel. Fang blood, barbed wire, dirt blood, sangre de ofrenda, slither dance for me tonight on the altar of Santa Muerte. Ever-dying serpent doll in diamond skin, riding calabaza serpent, his blood. Never-dying devil doll of ripped Baja y Golfo. Cartel causing carnage from Ensenada to Divisadero, to Urcasitas, Noche, birds circle the glowing embers of Dolores, Iguada, and Huchi Cuchi for me tonight. In the blood of smoking hearts, paint the scene for me tonight on the Teatro of Santa Muerte.
We've been vindicated by Amalio Madueño. Thank you, man. Donna Snyder showed me a couple of poems by Christian when I was in El Paso. Both of them had the kind of admirable qualities I'm sure are in all of his poems, right? And he comes out of the Mojave Desert, where all hot writers should probably come from, right? He has, count them, 11 titles, not the least of which is The Beat and the Low Desert Weatherman. It has to be a fascinating book. Try to pick that up and get that into your head and have a head scene with that title, as you will probably have a head scene from Christian. Please say hello to Christian.
Hello, Christian Alvarez. No más dije nada.
Thanks for the invite, Donna. Let's see here. I'm just going to jump right into it. This is called For Heart. There's nothing like this in the world. This place of shrined grace and yet of farewell and now. Shattered, silent, motionless, inviolable amongst a muted crowd, as if standing in the eye of a storm, as if with eyes closed the head gentle rested on bosom while Talmud pilots dunes through sand, a place of missing solace. There is nothing like this in the world. If now to be where beginning and end shall have met here, and desert making told to ours again from unseen children's lark and laughter antiphonal, again strained songs of freedom float free abreast heated winds, again gravity plunging, again cruelly, the field taunting, again punishment astride, mounted, bit-mouthed, the crop cutting through the pity of air to rhythmic strike of uncontrollable syncopated lashes, the rush, the arcing path, the crack of whip, wincing in strident pulses of color-drenched flashes of light, blinding to even the zealous eye ubiquitous. Thus this place, this former commodious confine of my dignity.
Yeah.
Lived in Austin, Texas for a bit. And this is called the ATX 4 Counts into the Music of the Masses. The memory of this mind had almost dawned, thousands of broke-neck swan songs atop Austin's tree-lined horizon, faintly inviting sunshine, faintly if only alluded to the lidded eye. A littered 6th Street of fruitless Providence, drunk and eaten dry. The beginning of the interdiction of night. The beginning of the interdiction of the night crawlers, the glass smokers, the street walkers, the hustlers, the street stumble drunkards, the lost souls like shadows under blowjob blown bridges, crossing paths with upside-down bats and unfazed rats vesticide, until moonrise hits on the 1, 2, 3, 4 counts into the music of the mass, where everywhere is home, where anyone is in a song, where passion, heat, and humidity sing along. Oh, but the day, let's not forget the day, the luscious curves of campus glide, a feast upon the eye, to eat the ripe with only sight, until my hands with hearts ensnared themselves do reach, until my hands reap the fragrant run of fate's design, seraphic, duteous, and sweet, a sweetness found in all direction, in symbolist and servitude, in seduction both day and night, in both darkness and in light, found of yes and power filled in the weak, these treats, broken beats collide with voices in darkness between you and I, this all makes sense when we, it will be like children, we have been waiting in time in unison, and when it does, I want to be the calm, silent, and strong. I wish to be what we shall catch, find, crash, and awake together, my dear, my sticks, my dear on bronze rippled waves, plastic scraping gray shades and shavings of nickel, a weight can't last forever, a wrung out chance can't see the end, where a different kind of, say, lives and rules, a land of solidity held on asked questions. It'll be like children.
Yeah.
This is from my book called The Truth, a little chapbook. This is also interesting. I performed at Beyond Baroque about 2 years ago. It was phenomenal. Performed with Danny and an essay and whatnot, and it was a really great time. I'm glad to be back. This is probably the first time I've ever performed sober. I'm looking at about 75 days, haven't stopped shaking yet.
Yeah.
I almost said my name's Christian, I'm an alcoholic, but, wrong meaning.
But keep coming back anyway.
Right, yeah, please keep
Kill
going.
it. Go ahead, say.
Anyway. Just a few notes to tell a story. Transformed into chords, brought to life with 40 fingers, animated, sloppy, and almost lost. Unaware of the fact that the sea refuses no river, the strings persist, time ticks, and this has determined the rest of our lives. This is almost a conversation too, maybe only you and not just only abstract when first glanced upon, a decision and ambition, what you read between the lines, what you feel, this poetry is a linguistic connection detailing imperfection of frustrated, striven desire to tell a story so symbolic, so intangible, yet although they may not know why, may not understand, but a revived, inert, intangible communion, therefore the meaning of interaction in language, life as we may know. To others the way lyrics and fluidity all in the same. The strings play on as yet unaware as we are to heaven, the place of death and hell, a crescendo every man has had such a vested interest in, a chaos of canvas orgastic in life, an uncrossed river, bridgeless, unburnt, unbuilt, and yet burned. This hallowed, humbled heaven reeks of chattered angel teeth and cherub farts. I'm waiting for a bus staring down a foggy lane into my distant past. Woke up in the park under a hopeful cloudless storm. Whether or not I've done the damage, I've paid the price. Is that her or opposing tree? Just another memory. With head in hands, he missed her except for glance as she made her way under the bus. He fumbled for fare as it pulled away, and maybe it will be explained the driver knew him by name. Before he could answer the driver, he dropped some coins, and as he reached, deja vu hit hard, and the bus he thought was empty was packed. He reeled in a shaken bus as he took seat, and realized as the tune faintly exited her headphones that this was the first time that they had met. But again, that first tap on her leather jacket on the packed bus by the park, with that tune faint in there. He decided to take their old shortcut downtown for a well-needed cocktail or six. The napkin note 3 drinks in read softly to the sounds of darts, pool, iced glasses, subtle conversation, and the jukebox, and it said, "No love for what's deserved, never deserving what's loved, never knowing what's needed, no need for what's known, never desire for despise, more like a vibrant hole in the sky shining through blunted clouds, heavy wind, and fresh-cut grass, oil lamps." And I'm giving you up for Lent. Right then the grass pulled their sharpest blades on the flowers. He remembered this happening, but what he remembered was writing it. He made his way outside and sat at the curb. The weight of warmth on man is placed into the temple heart, guarded by the sleeping lion's soul. The unseen tag above his head read like a caption. But the coming storm is and will blow the tag away from the wall.
Yeah.
Sure, Partsman.
Well,
Let's see. Okay,
ready to go
One.
try to have.
one of them. Quickie love poem, because I'm a lover, not a writer. It's called The Opening. Closing the door, now inside the easier, she sounds, she enters, she commands the angelic background as heaven's unchangeable heart opens wide. The sound of impossible brass blasts at drop jaws. Melodies are in the making of young eyes and hearts. Nostalgia drips from old wounds and forgotten smiles. Desert mountains wear storm clouds in the distance. She wears it all, owns it all. Even this winter wind swept like night elusive yet tamed to her command, snaked onto her side and slipped into her pocket as if a gift or just a comfortable, trusted unknown, therefore owned and home. I'm jealous, not of her, but of. Thank you.
Christian.
Christian, everybody.
Yeah.
Your book is here. Your book is for sale, right? You got it? People can score it.
They're all available on Amazon as well.
Oh yeah, you can always. I forget about the whole computer world. You know. Now you can just go to Amazon and get anything you want. Wow. Anything you want. You key. How do I introduce Yvonne de la Vega without making it sound like I'm having a nervous breakdown? Her book is called It's tomorrow. Wait till tomorrow. It's gonna really be great, and that's what it's kind of leading towards. It's an amazing poetic vision of America. Really, it's published by Punk Hostage Press. That should be enough to cause a stampede to Pablo's counter there to score the book. And it's just my pleasure, really, to introduce 119 pounds of total TNT.
Yeah.
Yvonne de la Vega.
Yvonne de la Vega.
I also want to say thanks to Mark Walsh for being here from LA Art Stream and doing the, live stream, and Donna. Wow, I've heard so much about you. I can't wait to. And Christian, I'm really actually. You know what? I'm going to do this first time for you.
Thank you.
Because I used to do it for Mark. And Mark's so great. And I got one for Border too.
Is that a ukulele? Wow.
I have one for Border too, it's the first song I ever wrote without writing it down. So you guys go ahead.
That's hard to do.
I know.
Virtual, right?
It's for Christmas. It's called Fallen Angel. I met Pony at the pool hall over by the player's house phone they had for our incoming calls. There was a 3-minute limit. Him fresh from a year in a jail cell, me broken hearted and in love still. We played nine-ball trying to forget. And I loved Pony Boy. I loved him just like a little brother. He was a gambler, raced to 3 for 10. First he'd play real bad, and then he'd start playing like a motherfucker. We were fallen angels in purgatory, that place of old saints, this their glory, where everybody knew everybody's story and everybody's game. Well, one day Pony Boy, he gets 86 for 100 phone calls from 100 chicks. House thought he was a drug dealer. I knew that he had 6 months of sobriety. So now Pony Boy, he goes back out on the streets, and I would say, run, Pony, and I would pray. He was last seen boxing it out with the prisoners of crack hell down by Wilcox Alley. Fallen angel, searching for the innocent's gone too long to take the blame. The sacred spirals of heaven's winds you cannot light upon with the demon in your vein. And so you go down, 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 and then you're 3 days gone. You've gone and fallen down, broke your crown, rolled in sobriety. Fallen, frail-legged pony, step by step. He's wandered too close to the edge of the darkened valley. His mom watches the telephone. His dad acts like he's watching the TV. And they don't know they're not to blame, but their hearts search family history. And they watch you go down. Yeah, and then you're so far gone. You've gone and fallen down and broke your crown of golden sobriety. And they can't call every hospital. And they can't know all your friends. And They can't call every station in the county. So instead they watch you go down. Oh yeah, Linda, you're so far gone. You've gone and fallen down and broke the crown, golden sobriety. Well, it's 5 years later, it's Friday night. The old pool hall shut down and Saints and Angels forced to take flight. We start playing on Sunset, it's alright. It's all about the game, it's about the night. And then someone says, hey, did you hear about Pony? And time stood still. I said, no, don't tell me. And I went running in the night. And I still pray. Oh, my fallen angel, searching for the innocent's gone too long to take the blame. Oh! Evening heat. In the evening heat, under sweat-clinging sheets, with a mini bush. In the evening heat, under sweat-clinging sheets, with a mini blind moonlight shower, I sleep. Into her sleep, there's light and deep. I'm awakened by a small boy's grinding feet, and the passing regret that in the summertime, all the babies sleep with blackened feet. For there are no rules about socks and shoes on a sidewalk playground summer beat. The blues of mid-July come August, all rules fly. I am the sad-eyed lady of the lowlands, of whom the prophet Dylan says will have no man. And I sleep spread eagle and I don't care about beauty come morning, the smell of my hair. And yes, I've loved as deep as my depth, and then I've seen every lover fail to death. But I keep the faith and I do pray yet, and that I don't sleep alone too much longer. Because in the evening heat, smoldering asphalt cools to make way for geranium kisses and strawberry jewels glowing in a trellis flower bed, softly lit by a porch light 60 watt overhead. This lady's phony false alarm to ward off the serial killers and charm when either the moon is full or the heat wave persists under ceiling fan dreams, spinning tea party madness while bedroom windows flirtingly beckon. Come hither. In the evening heat, I dream. In my dreams, you and I are sitting high up on the bluff side. My wrist was tied to yours at the cliff's edge. We'd flick our cigarettes to arc up and then down, embers spiraling into electric fluorescence, crashing forward in a night when edges are left to fate, our footing at heaven's gate. At dawn, a pot of dolphin yelling to us from far below, "You made it! Look, the light!" Seagulls laugh, and the whole world is with us in the dark of the most divine night, waiting for the Savior of the dawn of light. Heads bowed and giving thanks because demons passing through will never misbehave. But the righteous and the innocent and the sad-eyed are saved. As the danger hour passes and the lowlands are bathed in the blue light, the promise will open eyes to sunscathed. Many blinded by the light of a warm mid-July day, blinded by the light, awake.
Yeah.
You bring?
My
Did you bring a
plumber's
screwdriver?
horn?
Did you bring a screwdriver?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah. Did you bring your plumber's horn?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you doing Canyon?
Come on up here. This is Michael C. Ford. Michael C. Ford plays an instrument that I don't think anybody else on the planet plays.
Yeah, it's got a camshaft and a hot spark ignition.
And it's a plumber's horn.
Mhm.
And we thought that we wanted to do something together. I think I need my book.
Do you have the text to that to the Canyon piece?
I do.
Oh,
It's in
okay.
the book.
Because I got to kind of look at the changes. That's
The changes. I
yeah.
know my poetry is close to
yeah.
yours. Okay, here we go.
Whatever you got is good.
And your poetry close to what?
Closest to jazz.
Oh, it is.
Okay, it's a,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, no, it's actually a Mattel toy trumpet bell with a dollhouse water faucet jammed into the housing. Well, actually, this kind of pipe is jammed into the housing. There's a diaphragm inside. The diaphragm means if I hit high C, I go into toxic shock immediately. That's what happens, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, he did make it.
Yeah, so I gotta be very careful.
that's a new one though. Isn't
Above
it?
all.
Is that one new?
What?
That one's new.
This is,
It used to
yeah.
have the U
Oh,
pipe, the U part of the, under the sink.
oh yeah, it's, yeah, it's like something,
He has
it's like
them
something you
made.
find under the sink. Right?
All right, this is called.
Or an ear trumpet. What did you guys say?
He's getting ready.
Yeah.
Those of you at home that are watching, because we tried to make a big group about the live stream, I'll tell you later about my hair. I'm going for silver because I don't want to dye my hair black anymore. But right now, right before the gig, I got orange.
I like it.
You do like it?
I do like
You
it.
do? Oh, so this is what I meant your hair. My mother was premature gray.
Oh yeah,
bearded.
okay. Honey, look,
And
just
she would make
take it up
something
to here,
The
That's
and
bottom.
I'll jump in.
You're almost
Okay.
there.
Okay, yeah, I'll jump in, and then when I finish a riff, then you just bounce into this.
Okay, do you start? Or-
Yeah, no, you start.
All right, this is called Give Me the Sounds of the Canyon, with Michael C. Ford on the plumber's horn. Give me a home where family shares one mind, however each individualized, however diversely, with freedom expressed, each with their dark dreams, however suppressed, compromised, or hidden. Give me the room where the skylight hangs high. With my ethereal grasp, I reach for the moon. Give me the moon that is constant. Give me the constants of anything. Give me the sounds of the canyon. Give me the sounds of the canyon, a nightbird in the twilight performing, a piccolo song he's singing, with the owl as oboe, the stream as piano, the wind in the old oak plays strings. Give me the eyes that never cry, so my heart may not empty its sadness. Give me a right to my madness. Give me the hope for a new hope. Give me justice contagious. Give me righteousness, the virus. Give me a head in the clouds for protection, for the knowing of nothing and of too much. Then once again, give me the sounds of the canyon and leave me to be alone.
Yvonne de la Vega.
Thank you so much. You know, when I first started reading poetry, Michael Seaford took me under his wing, took me to Beyond Baroque. I would have never known about it. I mean, I didn't know much. But I was a Girl Scout mom. And oh man, I have funny stories about not knowing enough of who people were. My very first reading for my very first publication was in San Pedro, and they were saying, it's going to be this really great poet's going to be there. I'm like, whatever. It was my first reading, you know, and I remember I was wearing a royal blue beret and and so I got there, and it's standing room only, right? And the poet's reading, and I'm just shouting around. But as soon as that poet, this really famous poet, walks outside after he's done reading to have a cigarette, and it's my turn, and I read to an empty room.
Yeah, right.
Then he comes back in,
Don't let that happen tonight.
and they said, Charles wants to meet you. And I sat down, I was like, whatever. I sat down, and he goes, you want these? It was Charles Bukowski, my very first one. And he gave me 2 poems on a piece of paper that I found later in the book with his handwriting. Poems that have never been published.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of sad that I read to an empty room, but it was really 20 years later I realized, wow. I was like, God, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Well, because it's a longer story, but I found out 20 years later, maybe more, that my first reading was with Hank, and I was bummed out for 20 years that anyway, this is the Borders, a piece that I wrote without writing it down. I try my hardest. And really, it's about the freedom fighters. Remember the PKY? Is that the PKY? They're fighting Islam up there on the borders of Syria. They are all women. And believers of Islam, the followers of Allah, or who's it? Muhammad. Muhammad's the prophet, right? Okay, anyway. He was a prophet, right?
Yeah.
They believe that if they die at the hand of a woman, they will not go to heaven. So they're fearful of them. And these women have already taken back little villages along the border of Syria. So I was really inspired by them because they're like you. What's that word you called me?
Chingona.
Chingona. Chingonas. There's trouble at the border, and now we go to war. There'll be no more farmers market on Sunday no more. I love a freedom fighter. She is my sister of my mother's daughters, her youngest daughter. She's a freedom fighter. She went to war. She fights for the border and so much more. She went up the mountain where she'll kiss the ground to taste the freedom. She went up the mountain 'cause she heard the word freedom. I love a freedom fighter. He is my brother of my mother's sons, her only one. He's a freedom fighter. He went to war. He fights for the border and so much more. He went up the mountain. He went to find her there, fight beside her there. I love a freedom fighter. She is my daughter of my children, my only daughter. She's a freedom fighter. She went to war. She said to fight for you, mother, and not much more. Went up the mountain to fight for me, to fight for freedom. She went up the mountain and she'll kiss the ground with the taste of freedom. That's it.
Yeah.
Last one. This is called One Leg Left, and it's dedicated to I occupied for my homies, my comrades at Occupy Los Angeles, and it's called One Leg Left. Huh? One strap left. One string left. One poet left. No. One poet more. I can't wait to hear you, Don. After your toes are great. They had amputated the leg. No, not paralyzed, but amputated. There is no leg. Realizing that running through tall fields of grass was a dream, and not blue sky but blue shower curtains surrounding this hospital bed, upon looking, upon learning, that one foot was missing as well as its knee, that the loss of feeling was really a missing limb, taken while in the deep sleep of conditioning, maimed while under the influence of that opium for the masses. And there is no rewind, no return to total grasses. Upon looking, upon learning, upon grieving, upon remembering, the deceitful language with which we unanimously agreed upon the most heavy acceptance, we remain strong, we remain calm, and we remind ourselves, it is done, yet the truth is, we still have one leg left, America. Thank you.
Yeah. De la Vega.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Now, who's gonna, should I introduce Donna? I don't know enough about Donna, but I know that she's a great online friend. Legacy for it.
Yeah, when I introduced Donna Snyder last night, I had to remember immediately that she's the artistic director and instigator of the Tumblewords Poetry Project, and it's been going since 1995, which and so the success of that is due to Donna's perspicacity and integrity, and without that, that kind of workshop could not. This is not a California poetry workshop with people writing Hallmark greeting cards. This is hot off the presses Texas poetry, and these people have a really hardcore conceit about their poetry, and it's an aggressive urgency about it, and it's real. That's what I've taught the workshop 5 times since 1999. And I'm amazed every time I come out of this and Jesus, where are they getting? What are these people getting this stuff? I don't hear poetry like that when I go to a poetry reading. So, and everybody owes Donna a debt of gratitude for having that home, that church home, where people can go and worship language art. And that's really, and it's not surprising that a woman who has that kind of sensitivity would come up with a book like this. This is her brand spanking new book, and each and every one of you need to take this book home with you and put it in your home library and read it from time to time as you would a Bible. You really need to do that. I think. I would suggest that you pay for it before you take it. That might be a good idea. Otherwise, Beyond Baroque goes broke, you know.
Feed the poets.
So that is also Donna has a wonderful book that started out as a chapbook and now has a spine binder, and it's reissue, and it's called I Am South, a truly finely crafted book of poetry. And of course, wonderful title that she has, Three Sides of the Same Moon, and try to find that somewhere, right?
That's going out next year.
Yeah, no, not necessary to find it. It's not necessary to find it, folks. It's like discovering gold at the upper and lower Hiawatha Lakes somewhere. And there really is an upper and
Yeah,
lower
Michael,
Hiawatha.
yeah.
So, without any further delay, we should welcome Donna Snyder. You lift your book up there too.
I'm saving it because I'm buying it. Well, gosh, there's a saying where I come from, the border, I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but it's like, you're putting too much cream in my tacos, dude. Really. And that's true because, I mean, yeah, Tumblewords has been doing those weekly workshops for, this is the 20th year, and you put your finger on it because when, I'd already started Tumblewords, but when I joined, well, when a band was created called Central Nervous System, all the musicians were artists, right? And all the poets were yellers, and we yelled and we made noises, and the visual artists and the musicians made music. But how it came about was I was at a party in Juarez at the great intellectual Ilivaldo de Vadillo's house, and met a guy named David Romo, and we said, you know, we artists, we need a place like church where we can just go every week and do our art thing. And so Michael really put his finger on it, because that's really kind of what Tumblewords is about, is a place every Saturday that we get together and we write. The first few years it was 2 a week, and now it's just 1 a week, but that still adds up to some 1,000 workshops we've been doing, yeah, not counting those in the school. My new book, Poemas, Ante, Catafalco, Grief and Renewal, it's not really bilingual. It's written in el idioma fronteriza, right? Spanglish, because that's what we speak where I live. That's what we speak at home. That's what we speak in bed. That's what we speak at the Lubies. That's what I speak in court when I was practicing court. You know, I mean, it's the language, and so that's what it's written in. And when I found out I was gonna have the great pleasure and honor of reading with Yvonne de la Vega, I went and redid my set list, yeah, because, well, I've been doing these readings here and about, and, you know, it's about grief, and it's about renewal, and and then at the readings in New Mexico and Albuquerque, a lot of the people there know some of the people I'm writing about, some of my muertitos, my deceased loved ones. But there's a whole section or two in the grief part of this book that's about politics. And when I heard that Yvonne was going to be here, I decided I was going to focus on my politics in this book. And, you know, like come out as who I am, which is a left-wing political person. You know, been working since way back when most of you guys weren't born, you know, working for La Gente, you know, the Navajo people and the disabled people and the campesinos, and it was all the great blessing on me to be able to do that work with great people. So I had my little set list set up, and then my brother-in-law walks in tonight, totally unexpectedly, and I'm like, oh, well, I got to put some more points back in about my husband who died last year. So I'm viciously slashing this set list as we go, y'all. Trust me, I'm not really going to keep you up here all this time. But I want to say thank you to Beyond Baroque. It's a great honor to be here. Thank you, Pablo, for being here on your Saturday night, selling all these beautiful books, collecting all these beautiful books. Danny Baker, who's a brand new member of the board. And I want to tell you in advance, thank you for all the good work you're going to be doing for Beyond Baroque.
Don't jinx me.
Yeah, I know you will. Christian Alvarez, who, you know, had the faith in me to say, hey, you know what, you should get some gigs out there in Southern California. I'm like, yo, me? I'm just a girl from 20. And, You know, Christina también, who says, you know, come on out here, we'll have a good time. And then Michael C. Ford, who, as he said, has done a bunch of workshops for Tumblewords. And he gave me all this credit, all this cream in my tacos about how it wouldn't exist without me. But you know, the truth is that Tumblewords wouldn't exist if people like Amalio Madueño and Michael C. Ford and Victor Hernandez, wherever he is, if he's still, yeah, is he in there, didn't come and share of their talent and their skill and their inspiration in return for us passing the hat like we just did earlier here. You know, I got no grants.
Yeah.
I got no budget. We passed the hat. It's a love offering. And, you know, it takes a lot of money to put gas in Amalio's car to drive all the way down there from Taos.
Wow.
And it takes a lot of money to put money in Michael's car to, you know, drive all the way over here, all the way over there to El Paso, from El Paso, and from LA. And I know because I just made that trip over here. It's 1,000 miles and we're on the westernmost part of Texas, right? So that's what makes Tumblewords continue to work. And I'm going to start out with a poem, and almost everything I wrote, except the poems I wrote in bed, are written in Tumblewords. And I'm going to start out with a poem called A Neon Desert. A neon desert they only see. Awareness, like politics, move to the right. Electric asters line a green sky. Brake lights baffle the eyes. Are you paying attention? Traffic moves to the right. Think of Louisiana. Think of Japan. People disappeared. Structures on stilts still can't outwalk the waves. Fissured world shifts in its sleep as sure as the earth beneath your feet. Are you paying attention? This may be the only world we know. Secrets and lies and camouflage. The stranger smile. All teeth and eyes. Detainees in your own backyard. Herded like cattle into the corralón. Downtown, old men still hide numbers tattooed on wrists or nopales inked on foreheads. Catastrophe is our only home now. Dying cougars shot, more dead. Unknown bodies beneath the ground, spying soldiers spread across the sky. A neon desert, the only sea. Our mama, up there on the wall, wears green and blue. She stands on the moon and blots out the sun. Birds gather in treetops, praying for all the people dead and gone. Dancers dance with feathers and shells. Mama's starry cloak shelters her son, the one with the nopal tattooed on his forehead. Pray for mercy. Pray for the woman who lives in the back of a car, the detainees in your own backyard, men with guns at every gate. People disappeared on the river edge, deprived of the solace of rivers and rocks. Our mama, damp with migrant workers' sweat. Lights wander the other edge of darkness. Nothing sure but this earth beneath our feet now. And are you paying attention? Secrets and lies with teeth and eyes. This is your home now. Another day, another catastrophe. Birds falling from the dying blue. Lost fish floating in the dying sea.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes I get published. In fact, I donated a book called Nouveau's Midnight Sun, an anthology of surrealist writers, and I was like their affirmative action surrealist or something, you know. I write these poems and these people are like, oh my God, they're so surreal, the imagery, where do you come up with that? It's like, it's real life, dude. You know, I'm writing about my life. Dead hands.
Good segue.
This is unfortunately, like so many of my poems, taken out of the headlines. And what's most unfortunate about this poem is that it's in the headlines every year too. Same old thing. The dead reach out across the desert, burned like bricks by the enemy sun. Beyond the corpses, a litter of bottles emptied of life make a trail to the border with its gaudy signs. Down the highway, A panel truck hides its contraband behind a locked door. Inside that locked door, the odor of bodies warns the night sky to open its arms to death's bounty. The desert stretches, a merciless sea of boiled blood waiting for the coming sun. Only the desperate believe the lies of the coyote. In Coyote, he tricked the holy ones out of their fire and gave it to the people along with this scorched earth. Somewhere, the names of workers are written like beads between fingers. Somewhere, fields, still and quiet, wait for dead hands to harvest poisoned fruit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I had the hardest time getting that poem published. Yeah, I did. Okay. Speak to me in Spanish. I'll hear all vowels and no consonants. I'll understand all nouns and no verbs. Miss the plot, but grasp the emotion. The guttural whispers in my ear like secrets in my shoulder through teeth clenched, but not in anger. Speak to me in Spanish. The sounds of sweat and heat. Birds drift lazily across the sky on air's pillows, alert to the desert rush for movement. The smell of blood and flesh. A nest built from cactus and rock. The sunset, every shade of carmine. The blood of Christ frosted with snow, smelling of juniper and pinon. The evening sky, every flavor of fruit. Sandia, granada. Sticky sweet magenta of tuna. Succulents hidden by thorns. Teeth and claws a must. Juice spilling from whispering lips. Speak to me in Spanish. The consonants, lost in susurrations, connect directly to the parasympathetic system, and reason is left behind in the patch of Datura's moonflowers. Angel trumpets milky blooms under the peeping moon.
Yeah.
Órale.
Eso.
Thank you.
Yvonne.
Alrighty, and this is for my cuñado, Beto, my cuñada. My husband died last October 5th. He didn't drop dead. He died suddenly and unexpectedly at age 54. And this is called We Got Married on Dia de los Muertos because, you know, we did. We got married on Dia of the Dead. We got married on Dia de los Muertos. Followed the marigold path backwards, holding hands and running toward ghosts we'd always tried to flee. We took them all by surprise. In our pockets, all the sweetbread we needed, everything essential to make our journey. We got married on Day of the Dead. We clung to each other like tattoos, calaveras dancing in wedding clothes. Roses hung across the breast of death. The smell of dampness dissipated. Darkness became light. Who knew? We would come together, find the long-lost mates we never knew, make our pledge. When you fall, I will kneel and put my face on yours. When I get lost, you promise to come and find me. And now I'm finding my way slowly to something new, something scary and fine as the never-ending cycle. And death awakens again to become live each year on Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Yeah, my publisher is in New York. He's this excitable Ecuadorian. And performance poet. I always thought his name was Will Wynn. He explained to me, Donna, that's my nom de slam. It's Guillermo Echenique. But he called me up to express condolences for Mario's death. and found out that, 13 years before that, my compañero Jesus had dropped dead at 44. And in between that time, 2 cuñados died, 2 brothers-in-law, 2 of my husband's brothers died. And a dog, my 16-year-old dog died, and my 14-year-old dog died. And 2 very close friends died. And 5 colleagues died, 3 of suicide. And so my publisher had already contacted me wanting to do a book of poems for me, and I just never really responded. So what, man, look. And after that, he contacted me about a month later and said, Donna, I've got the title, I've got the concept. Poemas, ante, Catafalco, Grief and Renewal. I said, Catafalco? He goes, yeah, that funeral beer that they put the casket on. In English, it's Catafalque from the French. Okay, so then I didn't do anything about it, and he kept calling me up, and finally, I put all these poems down on the floor and pulled them together, and here's one I had written for my cuñado, Armando. He's buried in a potter's field. Nothing but tumbleweeds. Stumblebums come to drink and cry. Birds sing that same old cheerless song. My best friend long gone, so gone, long gone, so gone. I was very fond of my cuñado Armando. And this is for my buen compañero Jesus Guzman, who fell from a ladder at 44. And so I have a lot of fallen angels in my poems. Because he was a fallen angel too, for a whole variety of reasons, but he was a good man. And he fell to his death a month before his 45th birthday in April, the cruelest month. April winds rage in with a renegade posse of dust, weather's bad boys, intent on stealing a body's air. In one cruel April, Jesus was killed on Easter Monday, day after Resurrection Sunday. He fell from Jacob's ladder. It was the sudden stop that killed him. Undoubtedly, ay, cabrón, frozen on his lips when he hit the ground. The tiny blood red rose quivering alone in the wind-blasted dirt. Jesus killed. An angel fallen from the heavens. Declared dead on the scene, mad scientists shocked him until his heart resumed its beat. Like all fallen angels determined to return to lost paradise. Declared dead at the scene on Easter Monday, declared dead in ICU on Tuesday afternoon, and then on the 3rd day they took away his tubes and wires and his heart beat for another hour. He fought Miss Death until they declared him dead all over again. No resurrection, except in the memories of children he taught to be poets, or the minds of workers who crossed the borders from there to here. He crossed over from this life to the next one, neither from here nor from over there. And the mesas crashed onto the freeway like waves, and the spring night bled teardrops like falling stars, because he still cheated of air, cheated of words, cheated of life. The world cheated of him and his corazón too soon. Jesus was killed on Easter Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. His heart tan fuerte, it took 3 times to kill him. His death seemed punctuated by the street's beat and the lullabies of the bereft. And now the world, so cold and lonely in April, when the winds carry the spirits of dead vatos to remind us just how cruel a month can be. I'm the sound of the sea. I'm the sound of the shell you hold in your ear, the sound of the ancient sea before this land was desert. I'm the sound of the sea behind your eyes, shut against the glare of neon shining through your window from the cafe across the street. In the night, your breath heavy, your flesh warm. I'm the sound of ceramic guitars, once clay, formed with your hand, smoothed and shaped into momentary beauty behind the dreams in your sleeping eyes. Suspirations and susurrations, secret confessions heard by no one. The simple assent, the unintended exhalation of satisfaction, the chords augmented by calloused hands, the rhythm dictated by you and you alone. When the morning comes and you sleep still, I trace your cheekbones with my dusty eyes, your breath, the desert wind that never ceases, and I'm the sound of the sea. This will be my last one. I don't know if I introduced Victor to Nandis. Victor, come out here and say hi to all these people who can't see you. Hello. Victor Hernandez is the visual artist who created this amazing painting that's on the cover of my book called Angel in Decline. My publisher said, send me some concepts you have. 6 or 7 concepts you have for your cover art. And I said, oh yeah, I know lots of visual artists. I'm already emailing folks, but I happen to have this picture on hand. And I sent it to him. I sent him Victor's painting, Victor's painting. He's like, ay, perfecto, he says, maravilloso, he says. He goes, this is perfect, Donna, it fits your book perfectly. I'm like, yeah, thanks, it does, doesn't it? Well, yeah, so Victor's done a few workshops through Tumble Words over the years. He did this one alone. I wrote this one in a workshop he did a long time ago, can't remember quite when. More beautiful with sangria, aren't we? The artist is rolling papers to make a framework, something to hide behind beside the same old drugs and booze and sex. Nietzsche defined an artist as one who makes something from nothing using particular media. The canvas and paint, the clay and stone. Look at that hand he made from a stump of wood. That's why he loved us, said Nietzsche. That's why the rules don't apply to us. We decorate our lives with painted masks, something scary fashioned to distinguish us from the herd. Rhythm and words, vibrations harnessed to create structure, something to divert the eye from that raw and naked self. All the urges set free to frolic behind painted masks, then dance away into the dark. The trick is to fight the death wish. Take it in your hands and twist it into something new. The trick is to ride excess into the dirt before it kills you. The drugs, the sex, the alcohol, all a flaming structure on which to hang your dying God. Nothing more than paper and string transformed, something else to hide behind. It's all right here in the cards. Ecstasy, passion, a red dress, death in a large hat. It's just a jump from this existence into something new. Somewhere where the sorry boys burn bright. A blue October made more beautiful with sangria. The curve of a dancer's body like the neck of a black swan. Winter is coming. The red violin is screaming. Listen to the secrets of the green gourd. That marigold path that leads to death. Death parades around in masks to hide its promise. Quick, take a bite of something sweet to hide its bitter kiss. Thank you very much.
Wonderful.